The galaxy had long forgotten Earth. To the great empires that spanned the stars, humanity was a rumor, a lost civilization that once reached for the heavens and then fell silent. The Council of Unity, the dominant galactic government, marked Sol as an abandoned system, stripped of relevance, unworthy of their attention. That was before the war reached the outer rims. The Dravith Dominion, a vast war-driven species, had conquered 1,000 worlds. Their fleets consumed entire sectors like a storm devouring the sea. They never met an enemy that resisted their march for long. When the Dominion fleets reached the Orion Arm, they found a quiet sphere labeled Sol. Their scouts saw primitive satellites, dead stations, and an old blue planet. They laughed. "Old world," their admiral said with disdain. "Take it, strip it, burn it." So the Dominion sent their warships to the solar boundary. Thousands of vessels stretched across the dark void, their engines flaring red as they entered orbit around Neptune. They expected no response. They expected no resistance. They were wrong, for deep beneath the cold surface of the moon Triton, humanity had been watching. The Earth Defense Command had remained hidden for generations. While the galaxy believed Earth forgotten, humanity had advanced in silence. The fall of the first colonies, the long silence after the first exodus, had taught a lesson that no other race understood. Humans had learned that peace without strength was a lie. The world had united under one banner, not through conquest, but through shared survival. Earth had become a fortress world, the cradle of the hidden Terran dominion. Every moon, every asteroid, every dark outpost in the Kuiper Belt had become part of a silent network. Humanity had no interest in ruling the galaxy, but it had sworn that no one would ever again set fire to their home. When the Dominion's first fleet entered the system, humanity's hidden arrays came alive. Long-range sensors whispered across the dark. Codes were sent in silent bursts. Deep below the Pacific Ocean, the command halls of the Terran Defense Corps glowed red. "Contact confirmed," said Commander Raylan. 1,700 ships heavy class. "Orders?" asked his officer. Raylan stared at the projection of the invading fleet, his voice calm. "Activate the line." From Pluto to Mars, ancient platforms rose from the void. They had slept for centuries, their hulls coated in ice and silence. Now, one by one, they awakened. The line of Sol, fortresses built during the long quiet years, lit up with blue energy. The Dominion ships detected movement too late. The first pulse of light cut across the dark, and then the first salvo struck. Dozens of Dravith destroyers vanished before they could raise their shields. The Dominion admiral barked orders, unaware of what they faced. "Return fire! Sweep the field!" Plasma bolts and beam weapons flashed through the void, but humanity's defenses held. The orbital arrays used technology unknown to the invaders, energy redirection fields and gravitic barriers that absorbed their attacks. Raylan watched the display, his hands clasped behind his back. "They'll keep coming. Prepare the fleet." Across Earth's night sky, something moved. For centuries, deep beneath the crust, massive vaults had slept. The Terran Navy had not been seen in 1,000 years. But now the codes were entered and the old forges opened. The first to rise was the Sol's Vengeance, the flagship of the fleet. A ship so large that its hull eclipsed the moonlight as it emerged from the shadow of Mars. Then came the Valiant, the Horizon, and the Iron Star. Each vessel bore scars of the long-ago wars that ended human expansion. Each carried weapons forged from the combined genius of every human nation. Rail cannons the size of cities, singularity drives that could fold light itself. When the fleet moved, the void trembled. The Dominion admiral saw the first human ship appear and laughed. One relic? One ancient ship from a forgotten world? Then he saw another, then 100 more, then 1,000. His laughter died. "Impossible," he whispered. The Terran fleet formed a wall between Earth and the stars. Thousands of ships aligned in silent precision, their formation perfect, their signals encrypted. Raylan's voice echoed through the command network. "To all ships, the enemy has reached our home. We do not yield. We do not forget. Fire at will." The void lit up. Human warships unleashed a storm unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Dominion's front line was shredded in seconds. Their shields folded under kinetic strikes that moved faster than light. Their capital ships tried to retreat, but the Terran fleet pursued with ruthless precision. No communication came from the human ships, No demands, no warnings. Only silence and fury. The Dominion's Second Fleet jumped in, attempting to flank from the rear. They never reached their target. From the rings of Saturn, another human formation emerged. The Fleet of the Belt, silent guardians of the outer system, intercepted them. The battle raged for hours. The Dominion's arrogance turned to panic. Their transmissions filled the void with confusion and fear. Where did they come from? How can they hide such power? Why didn't the Council warn us? There was no answer. When the last Dominion ship broke formation and fled, humanity did not pursue. They simply watched as the enemy limped away. Raylan stood in the observation deck of the Soul's Vengeance, watching the retreating dots fade into darkness. His officers waited for his command. "Do we chase them?" one asked. Raylan shook his head. "No, let them speak of what they saw. Let them tell the galaxy." The news spread faster than light. Every world under the Council's rule heard of the event. A fleet that came from a forgotten world had crushed the most powerful armada in the known galaxy. The Dravith Dominion, once feared across the stars, had been broken by a single system. The Council convened an emergency session. "What is this Earth?" one delegate asked. "An ancient homeworld of a species believed extinct," replied another. "Extinct?" The chamber fell silent. In the months that followed, probes were sent toward Sol, but none returned. Patrols vanished without a trace. It became clear that whatever humanity had become, it was no longer a forgotten race. Then, one day, a signal came. It was short, simple, and unmistakably human. "We are not seeking war," the message said, "but if war comes, we will end it." The Council understood. In the shadow of their greatest defeat, they now faced a new power. Not one born from conquest, but from survival. For the humans remembered every lesson carved by time. They had seen their own extinction and had turned it into strength. They had hidden from the stars until the day the stars brought war to their door. Now the galaxy whispered their name again. In hidden corners of the universe, empires recalculated their strength. Commanders redrew their maps. No one dared to approach the Sol system. Meanwhile, on Earth, life continued. Children played under a peaceful sky, unaware that their world had just shifted the balance of the galaxy. Factories beneath the crust continued to hum, producing ships, repairing hulls, expanding the fleet. Commander Raylan stood once more before the great window of the Soul's Vengeance, the planet glowing below. "Status report," he said. "All systems restored," his officer replied. "The outer arrays are reinforced. The fleet stands ready," Raylan nodded. "Keep them on alert. They will return." He knew the galaxy would not forget easily. Curiosity would bring others. Fear would drive some to strike again. But Earth was ready. The once fractured nations had become one. The planet's united strength had built something greater than an empire, a civilization that endured in silence, building power not to rule but to survive. Generations had lived and died in secrecy, passing down the promise that humanity would rise if ever threatened again. And they had. From Neptune's orbit, the wreckage of the Dominion fleet drifted silently. Massive hulks turned slowly, broken and lifeless. Human drones moved among them, scanning, salvaging, learning. Every ship dismantled became another lesson. Every fragment of alien technology studied and repurposed. Humanity learned, adapted, evolved faster than any other species. In less than a year, the Terran engineers had already integrated Dominion drive cores into their next generation of ships. The Nova class would be faster, stronger, and stealthier than any vessel before. Raylan watched the construction bays from orbit. Rows of ships were being assembled, each one a silent promise that Earth would never again be caught unaware. Meanwhile, the Council of Unity debated in fear. Some called for diplomacy, others called for war. None could agree. The oldest among them spoke quietly. "You do not fight ghosts," he said. "You do not wake sleeping giants." Still, the galaxy could not resist. Explorers, mercenaries, and spies began to drift near Sol, searching for secrets. None returned. Humanity did not attack them. They simply vanished. The few fragments of data recovered showed flashes of enormous ships and vast energy signatures. Then silence. Stories began to spread among the outer colonies. They spoke of human ships appearing out of nowhere, defending convoys from raiders, repelling pirates, vanishing without a trace. Some called them guardians, others called them specters, but those who saw them up close knew the truth. They were soldiers. They were defenders. They were humanity's shield. Years passed. The Dominion never recovered. Other empires took their place, but all kept their distance from Seoul. Then one day, a distress call echoed from a faraway colony at the edge of the Orion Arm. An entire system was under siege by a new enemy, an ancient machine intelligence rising from the void. The Council's fleets were losing ground.